Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this latest edition of Themed Bingo.
Yeah, we did start broadcasting about 5 minutes ago, but something went wrong, so I had to restart it all. But we're here now, and we're pretty much on time, which is good.
Yeah, that's all good.
If you haven't guessed already, today we are playing Scary Bingo.
Ooh,
So usually reserved for Halloween,
yeah,
but we thought we'd throw it in the mix.
yeah.
And then people who aren't part of Heathlands, if you wanted to play along and you purchase the kit with the game sets, when it comes to Halloween, you would already have them ready. So we're doing you a service. There you go. So how are you, Mark?
I'm not too bad, thanks.
Good. I'm liking the imposter today, Benny Beanie. He's gone blue, and he's got some sort of alien arm. Oh, spoof there as well. Okay. Yeah, so if you're at Heathlands, you can grab a game sheet from anyone at Heathlands or a member of staff, or ask someone and they'll get it for you. If you're not at Heathlands or you're somewhere else in the world, you can purchase this game from most good book and game stores, very reasonably priced, and then you can watch the video back and play it. We should have, I think we've got a catalogue of about 5 or 6 different ones now, so then you can go back and re-watch them, and eventually we will start doing seconds and thirds of each ones. Okay, with that said, shall we get started, Mark?
Yeah, let's get started.
Do you reckon we can get under an hour today?
Yeah, we did pretty well last time.
We did really well last time, I think. Should we go for it again?
Yeah, let's go for it again.
Right, let's switch over to game view. So there we are.
And we're here.
And if you noticed, I put your plastic bag inside a black bag, so you can't be accused of cheating.
Not that I ever cheat.
No, not that you would ever cheat.
So, as always, we, of course, will do 5 each round, and at the end of each round, we will have a
recap.
Yes, yeah, like that.
And of course, there's no fact book for this one, so I may just make up some facts for you.
We'll just see how it goes. So, okay, for round 1, very first one is big brown fella, Lottie.
So, Lottie comes from the Highlands of Scotland, lives in the forest, and is called Lottie because he likes to play the lottery.
Must be very lucky then.
He is.
Lottie. Next up is Ollie.
So, Ollie is Welsh, and he likes biscuits and cups of hot marmalade.
Yeah, I need to ask Sarah about her dog, whether he likes any of that.
How's he called, Ollie, is he?
Yeah.
Maybe he does.
Ollie. Next one is Pablo.
So Pablo is French, and he came over to England when he was a little boy, and he now lives in sunny Silith by the sea.
I've not seen him around, so
No, he keeps himself to himself.
Fair enough. Pablo. Next up is One Iota, Jack.
So Jack is a cousin to It of the Addams Family fame. Yeah, he's the third cousin on his mother's side, I think he was. Oh, Jack.
Jack. And then final one of this round is, I don't know about you, but Ivana Suck Your Blood.
Ivana Suck Your Blood. Yeah. When he was younger, he was a Russian ballerina, and he performed for some of the royalty of the world. And now he just wants to suck your blood.
As you do. Ivana, suck your blood.
Is it now time for a...
Yeah.
Recap.
First up was Lottie.
The lottery playing monster.
The lottery playing monster. Ollie.
So I can't remember. Is he French? No.
Likes marmalade.
I like marmalade. Cups of hot marmalade.
If I can find Ollie.
He should be under
Okay. Next up was Pablo.
French.
French.
Now lives in Silif.
Now lives in Silif. Jack.
Third cousin to cousin it.
And finally, Ivana Sokilbad.
The Russian ballerina.
So now moving on to round 2. With this bingo. First up is Wolfie.
So Wolfie is the famous wolf from the Three Little Pigs. And he's now doing performance art. As you can see in the picture.
He's well dressed. Wolfie. Next up is it's the full Monty.
As his name said, he is famous for being part of the Full Monty cast, but he was cut out of the film because he was too scary.
Monty. Next up is Bob.
So Bob is a bus driver. He does the 6 till 2 shift, and he's currently in Harrowby, I think.
Oh, so he does the Harrowby buses then?
Yeah.
That means he actually goes up by where I live as well.
Oh, there you go, you might see him.
Might see him. Bob. Next up, a big bowl of wool. Shelley.
Shelley, the famous shellfish that likes to knit. So knits jumpers, scarves, anything you want. Leave and take commissions.
So not very shellfish then.
Not shellfish at all. Likes to help people out.
Shelley. And the final one of this round. Hold on. Got 2 out there. Duncan.
Duncan is a basketball player. Yeah. Lives in Brampton. And he's now learning to drive. He's got his L plates.
Duncan. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
recap?
First up was Wolfie.
Famous wolf from the Three Little Pigs.
Then we had the Full Monty.
The cast member of the Full Monty.
Then we had bus driver Bob. There's Bob. Then we had the not so shellfish Shelley.
Who likes to knit.
Who likes to knit. And then finally we have basketball player turned driver Duncan. So now moving on to round 3. Oh, there's bingo. First up is Spiky Joe.
Spiky Joe. Contrary to his name, he's not very spiky at all. He has to spike his hair so it suits his name, but really he's soft and kind of fluffy. He's just got a spiky name.
Spiky Joe. Next up, three-eyed fella, Jarvis.
So Jarvis, he's got a job on the ships using telescopes and periscopes when he's on submarines, and he's basically a lookout.
The extra eye does help.
It does.
Jarvis. Next up is Zappa.
Zappa, a robot. Well, it actually looks like a robot. Really, it's a small child in a cardboard outfit.
Zappa. Next up, pretty angry fella, Gordon.
So Gordon works for the Scouts, and he helps teach them fire safety.
An angry person teaching fire safety.
Yes, he's angry when you get it wrong.
Gordon. And then the final one in this round, we have a pretty sad one, Nigel.
So all Nigel wants to do is have arms, but he can't because he's a jelly. So he's a little bit sad. He also wants to be a clown, and that's why he's got big red lips.
Nigel. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap.
First up was Spiky Joe.
Who's not very spiky.
Not very spiky. And then we had the extra helping eye, Jarvis.
Jarvis, the lookout and periscope user.
Then we have the child cardboard robot Zappa.
Zappa.
Then we had the angry fire safety instructor Gordon.
Yep.
And then finally we had the sad clown with no arms, Nigel.
It's a good name for a clown, isn't it? Nigel the clown.
So now moving on to round number 4 of the bingo. And first up is... reminds me of someone I know.
Okay.
Brian.
Brian. No, this is the Brian that you know. This is him when he was a little bit younger and before he needed his wheelchair all the time.
Oh.
Yeah, he's dressed up for Halloween there.
Brian. Very happy one. Charlene.
Ah, Charlene. She's a little bit shy, but she's got a big heart.
Charlene. Next up is Gertrude.
Gertrude, cousin to Frankenstein, the famous Frankenstein, and she's wanting to follow in his footsteps as a movie star.
Good going. Gertrude. Okay, so the next one are also someone I know. Mike.
Mike. No, we know plenty of Mikes, but it does look like one in particular.
Well, we're not going to say which one.
He likes to play the guitar and sing a lot.
It could be anyone.
Could be.
Mike. And then the final one of this round is George.
So George. George is a tickle monster. He likes to make everyone happy and tickle them. But he's a bit mean, and he does like to bite you every now and then.
George. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
recap?
First up was Brian.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, Brian. No loud singing, okay.
Oh,
Charlene, the one with a big
shy
heart.
and a big heart.
The cousin of Frankenstein, Gertrude. Or was it the...
So she wants to follow in her cousin's footsteps and become a movie star.
Then we had one of the Mikes.
A musical one.
And then finally, we had the tickle monster, George.
Watch out, because he does bite.
So now moving on to round number 5.
5, didn't you?
No, round number 5. First up is... I don't know if this one has got any bones.
No, it's Bones. You may recognize him from a TV show in the 90s called Funny Bones. About 3 skeletons that live together with a dog. Or was it 2 skeletons and a dog? 2 or 3 skeletons and a dog.
Bones. Next up, has a lot of helping hands. Anthony.
So Anthony always wanted to be an ant, but is really a spider, and that's why he has 8 legs. But he likes to dress up and pretend that he is an ant.
Anthony. Next up is Colin.
So Colin has a bit of a split personality. That's why he wears a second person on his head, so that he can have conversations with himself and get a good reply.
Colin. Number 4. Margaret.
So Margaret was actually a skinny, bald woman that drank a magic potion and is now covered in hair.
Margaret. And then the final one of this round. It's a bit of a damp squib.
Oh, Squib. So Squib is, well, he works on the daydream and nightmares department. So he creates the nice daydreams that you have and some of the nightmares that you may get.
Squib. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap.
First up was the famous Bones,
From Funny Bones?
the Funny Bones.
Are you too young to remember that one, though?
Next up is the Helping Hands,
Yeah.
Anthony.
So Anthony, really a spider but wants to be an ant.
Then we had the split personalities, Colin.
Yep.
Then we had the hairy Margaret. And then finally, the damp squib.
Squib. Helps out with nightmares and daydreams. So I think we're about halfway through there, so people might start to get lines.
Yeah, we are up to round 6.
6 on there. I think we should have 10 rounds in total.
So the first one in this round is Poppy.
So Poppy, she emigrated from New Zealand to England and likes to paint herself green and hide in woodland forests.
Poppy. Next up is one who can't keep one eye open, Boris.
Boris, our ex-Prime Minister. That's him on his when he hasn't got makeup on.
Boris. Next up is a beef stew.
Beef stew. So have you ever heard of the BFG? This is his smaller cousin, Stew. He's not so big,
Definitely not so big.
but he's still friendly.
Stew. Next up is Don't Be a Peggy Zoo.
Peggy Zoo. So Peggy Zoo is actually a brain without a body. If you're still looking for one, so if you've got a spare body out there, get in touch.
A Peggy Sue. And the final one of this round is very angry, needs a lot of helping hands. Patricia.
Patricia, yeah, she's going to counselling at the moment for that. She's getting better and, yeah, hopes to be patient and caring soon.
Patricia. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap.
First up was the gentle Poppy.
Likes to paint herself green and hide in the woods.
Then we had the ex-Prime Minister Boris. The BFG
Little
Stu.
cousin, Stu.
The brain without a body, Peggy Sue. And finally, the not-so-patient, Patricia. So moving on to round 7. For the bingo. And first up is another angry fella.
Okay.
Been in an accident. Billy.
Oh, Billy. Yeah. As you can see, he has been in an accident and he is healing nicely. But someone painted a angry face on him. He's really not that angry, really. He's a friendly guy, likes to help people out, but currently his bones are mending.
That's good to know. Billy. Next up is, has a pretty big mouth, Sam.
So Sam's mother was a crocodile. And his dad was a dentist and had to remove all his teeth because they were too sharp.
Sam. Next up is very happy fellow with wings, Adam.
Ah. So Adam is a cross between an M&M and a bat. They fell in love in Paris last Christmas.
Adam.
I was just looking at spoof on your bag. It's like he's got arms.
Yeah, he recently grew arms and he's just like been practicing with them. Next up, very spiky one, Fiona.
Fiona. Her day job is imitating avocados. She kind of stands in the sun so you can only see her outline. Fiona.
Fiona, for those of you who are making avocados right now, I apologize. And then the last one, we have Twig.
So Twig, yeah, he grew up in the forest. He actually kind of, he doesn't really look like that. He looks black and all, but he stuck all these bits of forestry work on him to make himself look a bit more tree-like. Twig.
Twig. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap, cap.
Thank you. First up was had an accident, Billy.
But he's on the mend.
But he's on the mend. Then we had the one with no teeth, Sam.
So
Then we had the M&M bat, Adam. Then we had the spiky one, Fiona.
who imitates avocados.
Who imitates avocados. And finally, we have a Twig.
Yeah. He was really a bit plain, but dressed himself up so he looked a bit cool in the forest.
Yeah. So now moving on to round 8.
Right.
Will this one go?
So we've got 8 rounds in half an hour. Doing well.
So next up is what is a lighter version of blue?
Pale blue.
Close.
Cyan.
Cyan.
Cyan. Ah, cyan. He's really square shaped, but put himself in a jelly mold and ended up that shape. And then stuck 2 ice cream cones on his head. Just for fun.
Cyan. Next up, really happy one with spiky teeth, Lawrence.
So Lawrence is related to the crocodile one, and that's where all the teeth went. His dad pulled them out and then sold them to Lawrence.
Lawrence. Then we have Hairy Jim.
So Hairy Jim, as his name says, he is very hairy and brushes it down like that. And he goes 3 times a week to the gym. So people call him Hairy Jim.
Hairy Jim. You look into his eyes, and you'd be very sleepy. Bruno.
Bruno, the magician. Also works as a hypnotist and can help you quit smoking.
Bruno. And then finally, possibly the cousin of Adam, Louise.
You've got it right. That's the limited edition blue M&M. But their mothers, who are the bats, are related.
Louise. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap.
First up was the jelly cyan.
Yep. He's really square shaped.
Then we had Lawrence
With all his lovely new teeth.
with his lovely new teeth. Then we have the one who goes to the gym regularly, Hairy Jim. Then we have the magician, Bruno.
Can I help you quit smoking?
And then the limited edition M&M, Louise. So now it's round 9.
Not 9, yeah.
Round number 9.
Looks like very close to the end.
So first up is, I don't know if you can see more.
We can. So Seymour has 3 pairs of legs. Struggles shopping for trousers. And likes to show off his 3 nipples, which are pierced.
Seymour. Next up is one eye with antlers, Bert.
So Bert's the British cousin of the Yeti. And he lives, I think it's Kielder Forest he lives at.
Bert. Next up, we have a relative of Sully, Annabelle.
Annabelle. Yeah, she wanted to be on Monsters Inc. and go to Monsters University. But unfortunately, the travel costs were too much to get to America. So she just stayed here. But she's still quite happy about it.
Annabelle. Next up is lots of eyes on you, Ed.
So Ed is a primary school teacher. And his favourite subject is maths.
Ed. And then the final one for this round is only has one eye on you, Eric.
So Eric the hairy eyeball. Yeah, his eye actually goes round his full body, but you can't actually see it because of all the hair, which is very itchy.
Eric. So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap.
That was my fault.
First up was the one who can't get that many trousers, Seymour.
With pierced nipples.
Do not need
He
that.
likes you to see more.
Then we had the British Ete, Bert. Then we had the relative of Sully, Annabelle. Then we had the primary school teacher who likes math, Ed. And then finally, the one with the itchy eye, Eric.
Was this the final round?
Yeah, this is the final round.
Ooh. So, if you haven't already got a full house, you should be getting it very soon.
First up of this round comes from a long line of famous tech, Samsung.
Samsung, yeah. He likes to make laptops and desktop PCs and will service them for you at a nominal fee.
Samsung. Next up is... Do you have a boo-boo?
Boo-boo. So I used to be part of the famous game Among Us, and he got evicted. Now he's a ghost.
Boo-boo. And then we have the final one.
Ooh.
It's a really short one. Clarence.
So Clarence. So Clarence is obviously half fly and half tarantula. Yeah, I think he's currently in Lancaster, but he's thinking about going to university, which is in Ipswich.
Nice place, Clarence. And now that's the final one of this final round. So for one last time, can we have a
Recap, cap.
Thank you. First up was a long line of successive technology, Samsung. Get it at a store near you for a reasonable price. Next up, we had the imposter, Boohoo, or Boo-Boo.
Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo,
Boo-hoo,
Boo-hoo.
boo-hoo, boo-you.
And then finally, we have the one who is going to college. Is that right?
Clarence.
Clarence.
So everyone should have full houses now, and if you don't, you've probably missed one. You'll have to look back and see at which point you missed it. So thank you, Mark, today for presenting.
You're welcome.
And we will be back again in 2 weeks' time with another bingo to share with you. Well, ta-ta for now.
Yeah, ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Bye.